What is going on, Torontonian, Raptonian, Fantonians? Did you just see what I saw? Did the Raptors actually beat the Bucks when I sat down? I've been busy the last couple of days. Sorry, schedule's crazy. I got in-laws visiting. Things are out of control here, work-wise, but trying to get on here consistently after each game. Because you know what I wanted to start this channel for was when I was watching the Raptors game and they had a victory, and I wanted to bask in it like a win like tonight, and I could just get on YouTube and search around and find someone talking about the game so I could sit and just have it extend. And here's one, finally, we won. I sat down prepared that we were going to, that I'd be sitting here going, oh my God, the Raptors are 1-4. Horrible start to the season. What is Darko doing? This thing is a mess. What a disaster. But wow, Pascal, I guess, called it as a must win game because he didn't want to go down 1-4. And they played like it. They actually played right from the start of the game. There's still some issues that we've got to talk about, and I still think there's some changes and things they could improve. But wow, what a game. Pascal Siakam, why are we even talking about getting rid of this guy? He was draining threes like a madman. Uh, I mean, let's just quickly, I am going to check some stats today because this is a win that we got to bask in. We're going to go into some details. But look at this guy. 5 of 8 from 3-point range, 62% from three. Scotty Barnes also. Scotty Barnes may be announcing to the league that, oh yeah, I can be a number one. He's still only around 20, but I think he's had now all 5 games. I think he's had over 20, certainly 4. Yeah, he's looking like he could be taking us to the promised land. And why don't we keep a guy like Pascal Siakam around to, make it easier on him? I know there's talk with Philly, getting all those picks. Are they going to make a trade? I guess OG would make more sense if they did a deal like that. But like, are we getting anything back in return, or are we just getting a bunch of picks for the future? Because I don't know. After this game, it's starting to feel like maybe we can, possibly end up at 6, where I predicted at the beginning of the season. And trust me, this morning, when I was thinking that they were playing tonight, I was dreading on, oh my God, I'm going to have to get on here and say that obviously I made a big mistake. But that's not the case. OG Ananobi, 16 points. Pascal, 26. You got Scotty Barnes hitting over 20, as I said, with 21. Schroeder with 24. And then we got Jakob Pertl in there with 14. I mean, that's pretty solid. Nice spread around offense from the starting 5. Now, speaking of the starting 5, is this what we really need to see continuously from here on? I got to tell you that I'm not missing Fred VanVleet. As everyone knows that watches this channel, at least, I called it last year. If you look at my last video of last year, what did I say? See you later, Van Vliet. See you later, Nick Nurse. See you later. I don't know. There was some crappy guy that we had for a cup of coffee. Don't even remember his name. I've erased him from my memory. But I called it. I knew those guys were gone. We had to make some changes. I mean, I don't think I predicted that Houston was going to offer Van Vliet the max, but I felt like we weren't that keen on signing him, and thank goodness I was right because Schroeder has been better. I mean, look at his stats here. He's 69% from the field, 50% from three. When was the last time you saw Fred Van Vliet shoot over 50% from the floor? Never mind. And from three, he could get 50. He could even once in a while do better than that, but not consistently. There's no trust in Van Vliet in the last few minutes of the game, and especially with those ones where he is driving. Like Schroeder seems to be able to step into the paint, into the key, and float one up and get it in without someone swatting it away. But the bench is a bit of a problem still. Mr. Dick is sucking. Like what? Let's look at his line here. My 1 for 8 from three. I mean, they're trying to feed this guy. Obviously, it's some kind of confidence, nervous. He's a rookie in the beginning of the season. I understand all of that, and at least he seems to have a stroke like he's going to get it. But Grady. Practice, okay? Sit and practice. I don't know what you got to do. Get some of the guys to actually defend against you. I know it's the anxious and nerves from being in an NBA game. Obviously, listen, if I was in an NBA game, I'd probably be freaking out. But I could certainly go out there and jack up threes and miss them. So You got to do a little bit better, buddy. Malachi Flynn too. Thank goodness he didn't shoot that much tonight. 1 of 3 and 0 for 1 from 3. But man, he turns it over. How many turnovers did he have? Where do we go? Malachi Flynn turnovers. 3 is less than I thought. After watching the game, it felt like there were more than 3, but he just seems to kill the momentum. In the last garbage time minutes, he was okay, but even there, he did a little bump shot, got it in, but he fell on his face and caused a turnover when there was like, I don't know, a couple minutes left that they had a clear dunk and just slammed it in. And it's like, Malachi, what are you doing out there? Again, I think he's undersized. Here is what I am recommending that we do going forward, because clearly Scotty Barnes is here. Oh, sorry, because the last piece is Mr. GTJ, Gary Trent Jr. Gary, where are you? If anybody listens to Howard, they'll know that reference. Gary Trent Jr. is an emotional guy. This guy needs to feel like the man. He grew up in an NBA player household. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to be the man. He probably is got a desire inside to outplay and outachieve what his father ever was able to accomplish out there. And we remember his father, at least the OG Raptor fans like myself. I was around back then, and Gary is out there shooting 36% from the floor, 4 of 11, and 0 for 5 from 3, and it is all in here. We talked about Dick needing to get his head right, and get into these games and not be nervous. Gary Trent Jr. is upset that he's not a starter. That is the problem going on with Gary Trent Jr. This guy is a bucket maker, a bucket getter. We know on the calls when we're listening, that's what they say every time he scores, and he is messed up in the head because he's having to come off the bench. And there were already all those interviews before the season where they asked Schroeder, "Would you care if you're coming off the bench or not?" And we don't even need to keep the same unit. It seems Darko likes to keep one guy. He doesn't do a full bench mob swap. You know what I mean? We're not having like the 5 starters leave and then the 5 bench guys come in. That is not the way Dwayne Casey used to do it back in the day. And that's not, what Darko's been doing so far. He likes to kind of linger a few guys and he sweeps them in. So let's let Gary Trent Jr. start the game, get his head right, get him going right from the beginning, and then we can rotate him off, and Schroeder could be the first guy coming in. But imagine Schroeder coming off the bench. Really, the positives are 2. We increase the output from Gary Trent Jr., and we minimize the exposure to Malachi Flynn during games. I think this is a win-win. So I'm saying start Scotty Barnes at point, Pascal, OG, Hurdle, and Gary Trent Jr. Then Schroeder could be your first guy in, and Gary could be your first guy off. You could tell him that right when you rotate them in. Tell Dennis, "Listen, buddy, we're doing this." Pull him aside. Say, "We're doing this for Gary. Okay, we got to do it for Gary." But I think that would help us. And then and Boucher, Boucher. I don't know what he only attempted 1 3. It was late in the game, but he was getting fouls. Fouls. Oh man, sorry, I'm on a different board here than usual. 3 fouls. I mean, that's a lot. Although Otto Porter Jr. had 3, and oh my gosh, he was only in the game for 15 minutes. Oh no, Gary was. Sorry, Otto Porter was in longer than Boucher. Anyway, too much stat checking out, but overall, fantastic win. How hyped are we? How good was this victory? We hit our first 2 threes and we're up right from the beginning of the game and never looked back. We had a 17-point lead, a 19-point lead. We actually maintained it. I think it was 20 or 22 at the half. Was it 66-44, something like that at the half? I mean, wow, what a game. Raptors showing that they have potential. I hope that they can play with this much energy every game. Let's, go get it and just make those few little tweaks. Even I might put Jalen McDaniels in a little more than Boucher still at this point, although I know we've got a couple of people injured with Precious out and all that. So that's probably messing up a little bit of his secondary lineup rotation. because we didn't even see Boucher for game 1, and maybe it was he in game 2? I'm not sure if we saw him until game 3. But anyway, I still say, Darko, I don't know if you're a subscriber to this channel, but get in there, get in and watch these videos. Come on, I'm up a couple subscribers so far this season. If you like the video, please like. Thanks for sticking around this long. Mr. Beast for president, and let's go Raptors.